Hello, storytellers. GM. This is for GM's how-to for the Lord RPG. It's going to be talking about the die ranks, using die ranks, the basics of the game system, the core of the rules. Okay, and I'm going to consolidate all the rules into one rule book. You know, the fantasy, apocalypse, like all of that, so that you can then have your campaign settings that have then the campaign. Yeah, and so I got to figure out that do I put the gear and the ships and the vehicles in the rule book, or do I have them separated out into the campaign settings? So I'll figure all that out. But I want the rules, the mechanics of the game to be very like you got that, and that works for all of them. So I'm figuring that out right now. But I have extrapolated out the die ranks and the skills in the die ranks and how it works, and I really honed in on it on this last episode of Christians in Space, episode 20. I really, really found this so much fun, and it works, and I enjoy it. And it's in the original PDFs, but it's not like I mention it kind of in a few lines in paragraphs, but I don't extrapolate out on it a little. You know, I should do more examples and kind of put a little like a full column of explanation on it, that kind of thing. So, and that's what I'm working on. But I want to explain it to you in here because I'm just excited about it. And this is a Christian role-playing game. It is a fun, hardcore. You can do all kinds of action. We get everything they have, but also we get to evangelize, and we get to role-play evangelism. And I'm enjoying that thoroughly now as a GM. I'm enjoying being the atheist, satanic, pagan, humanist, dumb, make up their own crap, and playing that in a PGG setting. I don't want to swear too much, because we are Christian, and we like to actually be polite, as a core belief. But I like to play pagans who then you guys all convert, and I like to say stuff in a PG confrontational way, but it's to get your juices flowing, your brain juices flowing as evangelists, because we don't do that. We don't do that. How do you think you get good at sword work? You go out and fight people? No, you hit a pel. You hit a boring pel forever and ever for year after year until it becomes clickety click, second nature. And that's what we need to do. We need to evangelize in these games and do it over and over and over and have fun at it. And I guess I'm playing a pagan, so I don't know, but evangelize over for fun, and then you guys, it'll just be part of your nature. And that's the goal here, because we are turning into pagans. We are being lulled into paganism by these games, by RPGs. I'm not, I don't hate D&D and Star Wars RPG. I love those things, Alien RPGs. So I'm not like against them, but I'm just I'm irked. I'm quite irked that we think that we have to remove our faith from these games, in these stories, in Hollywood and all that. And yet we're being mocked and scoffed and made the villains. And I agree though that Hollywood should make Christians the villains. It's because it's peaceful, it's safe. Go ahead and make Muslims or Satanists or Marxists your villains in the movies, and see how you feel going home each night. That's why go ahead, make us Christians your villains. Create a world where everyone hates Christians and see how that goes. Don't get me started. Okay, so this is going to explain to you guys, please, you GMs, I'm telling you, this is it's really fun. I'm going to get in the weeds here. So please, let's have some fun. Okay. Let me show you this map, and I'm going to try to, I know a lot of you, especially me, listen to this a lot. So I'm going to overly describe everything. So if you're, because I do a lot of like dog walking. And so I listen to even my own videos, because I don't know of any other Christian RPG on YouTube. It's really sad. I listen to a lot of RPGs, but I'm just getting bored because they're all just boring to me. And I love RPGs, but there's nothing about a Christian delving into Christian awesomeness and Christian history and church history of medieval times. Nothing. They just want to take all that out and pretend it didn't exist, and yet use chivalry, use knights, and use all that great stuff. And I'm just bored with it. I'm frankly bored with it. But there's nothing else out there and yet I love RPGs. So, all right, let's get to the game system here and how wonderful this is. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of basics here in case you're a new person. This is the character sheet. You have the 6 traits, which are like ability scores. You have your aggression, these are pretty self-explanatory, right? Aggression for fighting, awareness for defense, and being aware and being a sort of a thiefy, the criminal activities and stuff, and perception, and even you can use aggression or awareness to avoid a grapple, right? As the bonus, because they're both equally useful in avoiding a grapple, because you're either aware and dodging it or you're fighting it off. Especially like tentacles and stuff. Yes, we have tentacles. Okay. All right. Technology, repair, maintenance. It's kind of like a union job, plumbers, that kind of thing. Computers. It's using the tools. It's not engineering or creating the tools. That's an intellect. So spirit is obviously courage, wisdom, faith points, all that. Spirit. Intellect is crafting, history, academics and engineering, like crafting, and just kind of whatever path you as a player want to take. And society is all the social stuff. Okay, so those are the constant numbers. They're the only constant numbers in the game. That's why I'm using die ranks. I love die ranks because you continually go up in die ranks forever and ever and ever, and there'll always be kind of a you won't be like in most other RPGs, their explanation for getting into the weeds of the game is, you hit 10th level, you're done. You can't go any further or whatever, Mine, I'm going to allow you to keep going. I mean, I'm going to make it way more and more expensive each time, but you can go up and up in these die ranks. Okay. So you can, I had some breakfast and clearing my teeth out. I don't usually have breakfast, but Saturdays I decided to have one. Okay. So you can pick your skills. You can pick any skills you want. You make it up. And this guy's got space pilot, salvaging, comms, persuasion, electronic bypass. He came up with electronic bypass. I'm like, ooh, I got to start putting in some electronic locks, or whatever. Vehicle driving. He's got glory, and he's got 36 glory points. So this guy's been playing. And, past D12, if he wants to, he can go persuasion D12 plus D4. So if he does that, that costs him 4 glory points to get that D4. And then if he wants to add a D6, the second dice of a D6 here, from D12, D6, then that's 6 glory points. So that's how I make it more and more expensive as you try to refine your skill. And a D12, D4 is keep the highest. It's not add. It's keep the highest. So it would be D12. It would look like that. D12, D4 like that. Because you keep the highest, not plus. It wouldn't be a plus. And that's how I kind of limit, their progression too quickly and get too powerful too quickly. Here, some of these, though, will be added on. This one is not added on by it. That one is actually incorrect. Should be comma. Like that. So he gets a D12, D4, keep the highest. This one, though, is power armor. So that's an add-on. That's like really powerful. There are certain things that will have, you'll add the die, but it's rare and it's noted in the rule. Power armor, a brutal beast, military grade armor, which is the same as power armor, basically, but like tank armor, Okay. So, and here he has +3 because of the awareness right here. See that? And then he has D8, which is 3 ranks right here. 3. If you can see this, guys, is this too small? It might be too small. Let me get a little bigger, just so you can. This is just a little graphic of the dice ranks. Okay, I'm just making these bigger real quick, just so you can see it. So this is the die rank progression. And here we have 3 ranks, and so his skill is a D8. Okay. Now here's the fun thing about that D8 right here, right? Let's do, I would not, okay. Let me start from the beginning. Or not beginning, but let me just go with, I'm going to explain now die ranks, okay? How this works. The first thing I want to explain here, and I'm going to move this around a bit. Now these guys are going through this mine shaft, this mine thing down here. And so there's a lot of variables on driving, on the terrain, on how tough, the conditions of fighting in these tunnels, having water, right? Acid. So how can you put all this together, in a game, simply for you as a GM, and especially on the fly? Because I don't prep that much. I like to lay stuff out, but then I like to kind of allow the game to flow in a way. And this is the perfect way to do it. Okay, so the guys are over here actually towards the end of the thing here, but I'm just going to say that let me just bring the pilot over here just for the fun. I don't want to move him. I don't want to move him because I don't want. Just pretend he's on. They were started over here. I shouldn't be moving stuff around because I don't want to. Let me just make a copy. I think I can do a copy of it, and then I'll delete the copy. Okay. You know, it's like I'm on a set after hours and I'm moving the set around and the character tape markings, and I'm like, ooh, I better not do that. All right, I'm just gonna bring these guys. I'm gonna make a copy of them and bring them over to the other side, just to do that instead of mess them up. All right, let me take out the crab guys. So they're on this vehicle here, or at least Hawthor the pilot is. The others, I think, we're waiting to see if he crashed or not. And he has to get down this shaft drive over this rubble and drive down into the rampway to get down into the mine. And he's got a driving skill here of D10, which is 4 ranks. And we just decided on this last game to stop using, generally speaking, D4, D6, D8, D10, and start using 1 die rank, 2 die ranks, 3 die ranks, 4 die ranks, because we combine them to get a final die rank, right? To determine what the bonus is or what the penalty is or whatever. And I love that because it's very fun and very simple for a GM. All I do, let's just say he's going to drive, and the typical number is beat a 12, right? Beat a 12 and you succeed at it. So if he's going to drive over this rubble and down, does he beat? Well, obviously 12 is normal, a normal challenge. 10 is easy. 12 is normal. 12 is obviously not the number I want for him to drive over this rubble and down. Okay. So I decide now, what am I going to do? Okay. You know what? 1 rank difficulty rubble. Actually 2 ranks because it's big, this is crazy rubble. Going down a grade, a 3rd rank. So 3 ranks, and that's it. That's all I can think of. You know what? He might say, but I got, it's tracked. Oh, you know what? His vehicle doesn't have, it's tracked. I should, you know what? I didn't do this for the game, but I should do this. I'm going to give it, you know what? Okay, I take that back. Yeah. Well, it's tracked. It matters. Slow. Plus, I'm going to do it because I feel like this matters. Plus 1 D rank for slow. So what that means is, if he does go slow, not racing, he gets an extra die rank to handling, right? He needs. I take that back. I'm sorry. I even forgot this in the game. Vehicles have a handling trial rating. This is basically they have to beat a 16, not a 12. So for vehicles, and all vehicles have a handling rating, right? How well you can handle them. And his is 16 because it's a slow thing. But I'm going to give him a plus 1 DR because he's going slowly over the rubble. So he has a 16 plus 1 DR. So he has to beat a 16 to get over this rubble. But like I said, there's 2 for the rubble. 2 for the rubble. And 1 for going down the slant, like, connecting and not flipping over. So I'm going to say 3 there. But he's got plus 1 DR for the tracked. He's going slow. So he only has 2 die ranks of difficulty. And he's got a 16. Okay. So 2 die ranks is a D6 right here. So I just roll a D6. And that roll is going to be a 3. So 3 added to the 16 is a 19. He needs a 19. I'm just saying if the music's on. He needs a 19 to drive that chain break. They call it the chain breaker vehicle down through the rubble. That is awesome to me. It's the fun. Now, let's say he rolls. I'm going to roll, but I'm going to say he rolls bad. But I'm just going to roll until he rolls bad, just to show you what I'm talking about here. So he needs to beat a 19. He's got a driving of D10, so 4 ranks. 1, 2, 3. Oops, not that. That's wrong. Why did I do that? That's weird. D10. So D10, yeah. Okay. So he's got a D10, which is 4 ranks. I wonder if we should start doing that in the game or in the character sheet too. Instead of doing a D12, put a 1 die rank, 2 die ranks, 3 die ranks. So I think I'll talk to them about that. as well. And this is, of course, the translation of that in the end. But so he has a D10 for the drive. Now he doesn't get the track thing because I already included it in the difficulty. I already took it off of mine on my end. I should have given it to him actually. So maybe let's redo that then. I think just so I will remember to do that. All right, let me redo that then. I'm gonna start all over again. All right, he's going down this thing. He has a handling of 16 for the vehicle. Generally, it's a 12, but this vehicle is very lame. I mean, generally it's a 12 to beat any roll in the game. And if you're playing with kids, you can just keep it a 12. You could also decide it's a 14 or a 16. That's fine too. I'm using die ranks because I just found it to be fun. But in the original game, I just say 10, do a 12, decide the number, or 14 if you think it's a little harder, or a 16 if you think it's a little harder. And I'm not talking about vehicle handling either. I'm just talking about regular stuff, jumping, climbing, fighting, whatever. Preaching. If you're preaching to the crowd and they're the same thing applies, but you could also just decide a number based on the situation. And that's fine too, especially if you're playing with kids and you just want to keep it simple. But I'm really getting into the weeds with this and I really enjoy this. So let me do this over again. All right. He's going to drive this vehicle. They're all looking with on the side here. He's going to drive this vehicle down the ramp, get it over the rubble and into the ramp so that they can get, because they're trying to get, treasures and they have to really use something to haul it back out. Treasure being ore and mining stuff. So, the handling is 16. I think it's two die ranks of difficulty to get over this rubble and then an extra one to get on that ramp and go down. So 3 die ranks. So I'm going to do 3 die ranks, which is a D8 right here. Okay. Let me erase this. It'll be on there. And let me just get a D8. And I roll that, and I'm going to add it to the 4. So 20 now. He needs a 20. All right. So what's his skill now? He's got a +3. Oops. +3 awareness. He's got, he's got 4 die ranks here in his vehicle driving. Plus, he's going to drive it slow and on the track here. He's not being chased or racing or anything. So, see, he gets a +1 DR. All right, I'll give that to him. So he's got 5. So he's got a D12. D12 plus the D20 roll. D20 +3 plus the D12 for the roll. No other, I can't think of anything else. It's not really dark yet, so I'm not going to add that as a factor. And I roll. Let's see what he gets. Oh, 32. So, yeah, they're all like cheering him on. Okay. Now, since he's done that, and wow, that was a good roll. Did he roll a nat 20 or something? 18 and 11. Okay. Since he rolled a 32, above a 20 is 12. So 20 was the roll he had to make. He rolled a 32. That's a 12 above the success. I'm going to give him that D12 that he can use for driving. So 5 ranks. I'm going to give him 5 die ranks, like inspired die. I'm going to reward him with that amount for the fun of it because he did such a good job and he knows the terrain now, and it's inspired die, so he can use it and spend it on any other driving tests in this scenario. If there's some other driving situation, he can spend those specifically for it during this scenario. That's it. And that's what those are for. So that's how that works. Okay. So that right there, by the way, he succeeded. See, in most games you succeed, you're done. That's it. But in mine, I kind of like to add on or penalize based on the roll as well. And I'm really kind of, that is definitely going in the weeds. You don't have to do it, by the way, especially if you're playing with kids. Don't worry about giving him too many words, or give him a simple reward, or give him something. You can make it up. You can do something simple. But so now that this is 12 above a 20, I translate that back into die ranks, which is a 5 right here, and that's a D12. He can only use it for driving though, nothing else, not for shooting or anything else. And to me, these I'm using the DRR die rank result, which is what this is, and I'll explain this right now. I'm using it because I really like the extra when you roll high, when you roll low. I like the extra bonuses and penalties for things. So a die rank result is the number over what you needed. Can give you then this. Okay. Oh, I have that chart. Let me quickly put that in here real quick so you can see it. The die rank result chart number. Hold on. Okay, recording. Okay, so I just brought in this other one here, a die rank result. Let me make that big. Oops. Just make that. I just use it like a token, but. All right, I know this is. Don't worry. Once you know these charts or understand the basic concepts, you don't need to look at them. I just do it in my head because it's just sequential. But this. So he rolled 32 above a 20, not a 10. So 32 above a 20. So that's okay. Now it's different from this because this one is based off of a generic die rank result of a whatever above a 10. I do that a lot. Anything above a 10 will give you, say, a 22. We'll give him a 32. Okay. Now I'm adding 10. So let's say this is a 20. He rolled a 32, which is a D12. So this right here, D12. Okay. So 5 die ranks. So he gets the 5 die ranks to use on whatever he wants, or the driving thing. But let me get rid of that for now. But that's in there. That's in the new sort of evolution of the rules. It's in the original, but I just didn't make these charts and explain it more. But so what are some other things that happen? Okay, so they were down here. This is driving right here, and then this guy popped up on them. I mean, I made him actually do another one right here where he had to drive into the water. That again, same thing. He needs to roll a 16. You know, I thought, well, he's just dropping in the water. Okay, the drop is a die rank, and then the water is a die rank. So that's 2 die ranks. So I rolled that and added it to the handling of 16, and then he had to beat that. And so let's just do it real quick. I want him to fail so I can show you the failure version of this, because the failure version is really neat too. It's really simple. Let me just pretend he rolls low or whatever. Let me, I'm just going to, for the fun of it. Okay. So I just said 2 to drop down. So 20 again. So he needs to beat a 20, and he has let's just say he's kind of cocky, and, he's just going to go slow. He's not going to add any of his extra, the extra drive, die ranks that he got. So he rolls, come on, give me a failure. Yes, a 10. So he lost by 10. Okay, perfect. All right. He failed by 10 driving in. Now, wow, 10 is a lot. I'm going to say 10. So what do I do with the D10? All right, I'm going to find out right now. To me, a D10 is the roll of either damage or whatever. So let me roll how much damage he takes on the vehicle. Like 9. Okay. Now, because it's tracked, I don't think he flips it. Okay. But you know what? It is high. You know what I mean? It's high. 9. Yeah. He's about to flip it. I'm going to say it. It just, because it's going down, he can. Now, I'm going to be nice. I rolled a 9. So instead of damaging it, I'm going to flip it, or I'm going to try to. I add a 9 to the 16, 25 now. He needs to save on versus a 25, or otherwise he's going to flip. It's going to flip. So you know what he's going to do? I bet he's going to spend those die ranks from the other, he's going to spend all of them, right? So what does that mean? That means he's going to spend his skill plus those bonus die ranks right there. And I have to type this, and he's going to use his trait. I know this is getting into the weeds. I'm sorry, guys, but this is so much fun. Boom. Now I could have gone another way, and I'll show you right now. So the way it's the syntax of Foundry anyway is that and keep highest. I think that should work. See how that is right there. I think that's going to work. Let me copy paste it because I might have to maybe take out a space or something. So oops, that's the wrong one. Okay, this is supposed to be the 10. This is supposed to be the D20. Okay, that's the regular skill or regular D20 roll plus his awareness trait. This is his skill. This one is his skill of driving. Hope you can see that. And then this one is the D12 that he got from the ramp bonus. The die rank result. He's gonna spend it all in here because he's freaking out. He does not want to flip it, and he's got to beat a 9 plus 16 is a 25 because I rolled a 9 on that that fail. He failed by 10 because he rolled a 10 and he needed a 20. Remember to go nicely down into here. He rolled a 10. Yeah. So I've chosen to flip it. Now you could choose, say, to damage it instead and not flip it, but I'm going to flip it because this is mean. Now, but I'm going to let him have a resist, like a counter driving avoidance thing. Here we go. Roll. He's nat 1. Oh, okay. But he rolled a 12. He still fails. But he rolled a 12. Okay, so that means he didn't fumble. So I would have added an additional fumble to the flip. But he does flip the vehicle. So the vehicle's flipped. And so they're like, And would I damage it? I don't even know if I would damage it because just flipping it is enough to crack me up. And so they're standing around going, what do we do? So now they got to start rolling even more crazy stuff. Now, this did not happen in the game, by the way, but I'm just was trying to give you. All right. Again, now, what do I do as a GM? This is crazy. I thought they would say, why did I even do this? All right. Since I put myself in this position, I'm going to go ahead and figure out how I, as a 45-year veteran, they're going to come up with ideas, right? They have a winch on the thing. Can we winch it to the pillbox and have the driver try to reflip it back upright again, because they have a winch on the thing. And I'm going to be like, and, Mondeval has his hammer, right? Warhammer, he's going to help with that. He's a technician guy, and Heal is just very annoying. So there's that. I could have the creature come and attack him at this point. That would make this fun. Now, since he rolled a nat 1, but he had the 12 there, for his driving skill, I'm going to say that he almost flipped out, but he knew how to hold on to the steering wheel, and so he's just kind of hanging there. And but I'm going to give him a D4 vitality drain, just a D4, 1. He takes 1 just for the exhaustion of this freak out and getting back up. All right. So 2 guys in power armor, maybe they're going to try to work this. Maybe he's going to try to drive it so that he can turn it while they're doing the winch. Okay, so I'm going to say, yeah, you can do that. All right. And now I'm going to figure out the difficulty first, and then their positives to succeed at getting this figured out. Okay. So what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to start with the handling 16. That's the base number of this vehicle, but it's slow. Or they can get the slow part. Handling 16. Man, they got to flip it. That's so hard. So I'm going to do 3 die ranks. Just getting it around. The water, 4 die ranks. 4 die ranks. Where's the chart? Oops. The water is just, annoying. The ramp part is another annoying part. 5 die ranks. This, the ramp part here. I mean, they can just flip in the water, but it's still right there. And I'm going to say 6 die ranks because of the additional cans here that are in the way. And I'm not going to have, and let's say, I could have the guy attack them, which I would, but I'm going to ignore that right now. Let's say they fought it and they fought it off and blah, blah, blah. That's whatever. So they're just doing this. All right. So I'm going to say 6 die ranks. I'm just trying to think of any other. That's it. 6 die ranks. They have light sources, but you know what? It's dark and their light sources are all like based on flashlights. So I'm going to say 7 die ranks difficulty because the lights are harsh. They're headlights in the dark. So it's not like a nice ambient light that you can just see everything and get everything done. The winch and what they're going to do, that's all on their side, the positive stuff. I'm doing the negative stuff. So 7. So me as a GM, I'm saying 7 die ranks of difficulty. What's 7 die ranks of difficulty? D12, D6, keep the highest. Okay. So that's what this is. So that's what I'm going to roll. I can't copy that. So let me just type it in. Well, let me just do this. D12, D6, and then I have to type in this strange parenthesis thing, do a comma. I don't know if I need a space in there, but I'm going to see if I don't need it. KH. Okay. And I'm going to roll. And I'm just curious to see if that keeps the highest. And yes, it does. It keeps the 9. Whew. So 9, 16 is 25 difficulty. That's what they have to succeed at to get this done. Yes, very tough. Now, I'm getting into the weeds here because I'm a experienced GM. I'm going to say, Taino, You're the engineer crafty guy, so I'm going to let you handle the winch and securing it to the pillbox. And this is crazy, but I'm going to do it. That's going to give us a DRR bonus to Hawthor. So that's his aid. He's doing an aid right now. All right, so Taino, you get to have a roll of your own. You get the winch, so that's a die rank. You get the pillbox, so that's another die rank. And your skill in, does he have anything? Ship repair? Prospector skill? Maybe I might give him one of these. Machine tools D4. Okay, I'm gonna have to give him that. D4. You know what? Because of all this, I'm gonna give him it. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna go ahead and let him have a little bit because he understands pulleys and winches and lifting things and going under things. The prospector is a mining skill, so in mines, he's in a mine. But also ship repair. But I'm only gonna give him 2 ranks. I'm not gonna add all those. I'm just gonna give him. He doesn't have a specific winching vehicle skill or something like that, or a vehicle repair would have done definitely 1-to-1 because you're used to that with vehicles winching them. Because this ship stuff's a little, slightly different. But I'm gonna give him 2 ranks in there. 1 rank for the machine tools, so that's 3 ranks. The winch, 4 ranks. The thing has a winch. 4 ranks. What else? The pillbox, 5 ranks. Okay, so let's do it. 5 ranks is enough. Okay, 5 ranks plus his skill in intellect. Sure, he's trying to. It could be technology, but he's going to choose his intellect. So 5 there plus the D20. What did I say? 5 ranks. So that's a D12. He could put in some inspired die if he wanted. He could, but I'm just going to keep it the basic stuff and try to really get this going. But let's just say this. What did he roll? 20. So a 20 over 10. That's your generic DRR. Gives him a D10. So that D10, or no, I'm sorry, not D10. It gives him 4 ranks, 4 die ranks. That 4 die ranks goes to Hawthor to get this thing upright again. Okay, so he's got the winch going. He's got it all set up, anchored to the pillbox. Huel is annoying him. And I could even make that a penalty die rank right there. I might even do that. That was funny. I did it in the game for some other reason. But okay, so Hawthor now has 4 die ranks because of the let me do this for the fun of it. Yeah. Can't select this? Why can't I select this? Yeah, I should be able to select it. That's tiny. Okay, right now he's 4 die ranks from the winch done by Taino. All right. Now he's got his drive skill. Oh no, so now the vehicle is tracked and he's going slow. So I'll raise that to 5 die ranks right there. You can see that going up 5. What else does he have? He has his driving skill. Sure. I'll give him 4 more die ranks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. Wow. Okay. What else? I think that's it. What did I say he needed to beat? They needed to beat a, oh my gosh, I forgot. This 25. So 25. Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know what this is not giant space leech. Did I name it that? Well, whatever. It's okay. So 9 die ranks, which is a D12 and a D10, keep the highest. Okay. So that's his roll. So he's going to try. Oh, I'm sorry. Manivral wants to help with his power hammer, right? And I'm going to, I could do a die rank DRR for him too. He's using a, but I'm going to say, yeah, okay, let's do that real quick. Let's do that. Fine. I'm going to keep it this one kind of simple though. Let's see. He's got +5 aggression. He's got the power hammer, which, what does he have? A D20 there. I think that's his own notes. Yeah, now I got to think about this. He's going to use his power hammer to try to leverage it. I don't see that helping that much, to be honest. But I'm going to let him do aggression, just in a basic aggression roll, plus his skill D6 here. Because he has a D6 to hit with the hammer, so he knows how to handle it. He's also got power armor, so I'm going to give him another D4. So he's got 2 for the power hammer skill, 1 for the power armor, because it has some servos in it. And that's it. I'm going to give him that. So let's see if he can do a DRR to help. All right. He's got 5 aggression and a D8 and a D20 for the regular roll. And you got to get above a 10. 27. Wow. 17 is, what is a 17? It's a 12 and a, I don't know what. Let me look at the chart just to quickly, did I delete it? Okay. 12, where's, so 27, which is right here. 26, 7 die ranks, a D12, 7 die ranks, for crying out loud. Okay, fine. 12, 9. Wow, everyone is helping out here. So he's going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know what this is. 7. Wow. Man, I'm going to have to max out here at something. All right. 11. Here, let's go. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which would be 1, 2, 3, 6 THs? No. Only 2 more. So whatever. 4. Oops, can't do it that way. 1. Oh, I can't do it on here. Okay. Here. I'm just going to have to type this out. D12. Oops. D12. 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 It's a 17, so D6. D6. Huh? Keep highest. So that's what that is. So, he's never going to go above a 12. He's got a 5. Oh no, this is the final roll. So he's getting a lot of help. The winch and the power armor, really good chance here. So +3 for his skill, plus the D20. Okay, that's what that is. Oops, where's the D20? All right, let me do it this way. What? +5? I don't know what this is doing. So let me go ahead and just type it in. +3 plus D20. Okay. Oops. D20. Yeah, that's a little high, but let's just roll it. Error. I think it's because I need spaces in there. Space. Oh, probably there. Space. I think that's the only space I needed, actually. That. Oops. That. Let's see if this works. Okay, yeah. I just the wrong space. 20. So he got a 12, but he rolled a 5 on his, so he did not get it up. Rolled a 20, missed it by 5. With all that help. Think of the frustration. Everyone's frustrated. Everyone's angry. They were helping him do this. Didn't get it done. Now, they're going to get it done eventually, but this time they failed. Here's what I do then. Because he missed it by 5, so it's a D4. I'm going to say Manivra and Hathor take D4 because they're both doing something more physical, in my opinion. D4 exhaustion from doing this. That's the penalty I'm going to do. I could do like damage on something, but I'm just going to do those two. Each of them takes a D4 exhaustion thing. No armor save because it's just tiresome. Okay, so they each take a D4. That's how I would do that. Or I could do D4 rations. They got to take a lunch break. You're wasting time. They're tired. This is taking forever. They're gonna take a lunch break. Then start it up. Try it again, kind of a thing. I'll make it a little harder next time. I'll add a D4 to the difficulty again. So it's what I rolled last time was D12, D6, keep the highest. I'm gonna do it over, being a little more difficult because of their tiredness. So I'm going to re-roll this. I could roll less too, right? So there's that. So I'm going to do a D8 now and a D12. And let me put those in parentheses. And I got a comma in. I know this is into the weeds, but what I like about it is that it really kind of 6. So 6 plus 16 is 24 now. They got to roll. And basically they're going to do the same thing. So let me see if I can copy and paste this. Can I copy this? Copy? No. All right. They're going to do, I'm going to take off like vitality. I'm going to take off maybe some rations, but they don't have to do that. I can't copy this. I can't. That's really weird. I can't copy it. All right. Nope. 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 Okay, fine. D12, 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 D6. Might have to make that chart a little higher. KH plus 3 plus D20. Now the other guys could roll again, but I'm not going to have it. The winch is the same. The power arm, I'm going to just leave it the way it is because it's so high anyway. I'm just going to say, dude, we got to just move on. So let's just do a quick roll. And you need to beat a 20. All right, they finally get it up, man. And think about this. All right. I have been in scenarios where you've had to winch things stuck in the mud or whatever. It feels like just what we went through here. It really does feel like that. All these DRRs to help out. The final driver doing his thing. Failing. Let's take a lunch break. They're a little tired. Got some vitality drainage. I could have done damage to the vehicle as well. That's another option. Or I could have broken up that. What if they would have failed by like 10? I could have done a D4 and a D6, like on, because the numbers, the die ranks. Because I would have had 4 die ranks here. Oh, so 2 D6s. I could have done 2 D6s. So let's just pretend they failed by 10. If they failed by 10, that's 4 ranks, a D10. So I could have done like 2 D6s on something like vitality and then a D6 damage against the vehicle. And here's how I would have done that. So the vehicle has an armor of D10. So if I do a D6, right? Let me roll, and there's even 2 options here. Let me roll a D4 to see what part of this got hit. 3. So the drive, the tracks are getting damaged as they're in the water, and the water is a bit toxic. It's slow toxins. It's not gonna, over time it'll damage metal parts, but not quickly like the acid of the creatures. But that or just the whole turning of it is going to damage it a little. So I'm going to roll D6. 3. It has an armor save of D10 though, so it's probably going to resist this. 1. So it takes 2. See? So I'm all excited. It takes 2 minus 2 damage to the drive. Okay. So if that goes below a 6, they don't have a vehicle. Okay. So they're damaging the tracks. I mean, I didn't do it for this one up for the actual, I'm just saying, giving you another example. I could also independently or separately do where it does this here. Okay, what does this mean here? There's 2 different things here. It's the hull is the hit points of it basically, and this is just the damage of it that affects the engine is weak. It's at minus D4, so that's actually going to affect the handling and the drive. It's a penalty against the drive. Oop, I just deleted the guy here. This is what I meant to delete. And I just decided that. I chose that as opposed to doing hull damage. I chose, in their scenario, they had some other thing happen. I chose to make the engine minus D4. So I, though, got to remember to do that. Whenever he wants to drive or accelerate, I got to give him that minus die rank 1 there. Which I should probably do as minus 1. Oops, minus 1D die rank. If it goes past 5, it's destroyed. Same with your human beings. If they go past 5, minus die rings and grievous wounds, minus D12, you die automatically. No save or anything. So I gave him 1 though because the engine just got overburn, charged, or whatever, and it needs maintenance, needs an overhaul maintenance. Okay, so and that was based on a failed DRR roll as well. So this game is not only about success or failure, it's about how much you succeed or fail. And the GM can then take that number as a die rank or die ranks and give them an extra bonus or damage or penalize their equipment or themselves or tire them out or drain them of the resources. You kind of go through. I could make a chart where you kind of helps you maybe just decide that. I probably will. Let me write that down just for the. I mean, it's optional. It's an optional chart. Optional fail DRR cost chart. You know, for supplies. Damage. Wound, and that refers to vehicles as well. Damage, which is the hull or hit points or your person's vitality. Grievous wounds, which is for a person or damage to a vehicle part. Rations, because you just you need some water. You got to use up your resources. Gear wear, so the person so like for instance, I could have applied it to the person's hammer. Let's say, or somebody's gear, whatever. Okay, the winch. I could have applied it to the winch. Weapon or tool wear is another one, option. So that if they fail by a certain point, then I could damage their tool. So there's different like options of how you could wear and tear them down as they're trying to deal with mishaps like this. And again, they had so many other things happening in here. For instance, I'm just going to go through these a little more lightly. Like, so, Hathor, it was in this tunnel over here. Just quickly. He was going through, was it here? Okay, there was a situation. Let me go ahead and just bring these over here. Where they're fighting this guy. Let me explain it real quick. I'm just going to go through it kind of just in a light theoretical sense. So they're at a tunnel fight. And they're looking down a tunnel at the creature, and they're in an opening, but looking into the entrance of the tunnel. But there's also rubble in the front of the tunnel that they were searching. Now, the creature shot out its tongue, grabbed the power armor, and tried to drag it into him, right? And I said, well, you can't just drag a power armor in, so that there was that aspect of it. And I could have used die ranks on that, but I just said, no, he's not. He's going to drag it, but slowly, not whip it into him like a frog, does. But like, for instance, so the Hathor was going to try to shoot through it. So I gave him some die rank difficulty. I said 1 for the low tunnel, 1 for the dark lighting that affects you. It doesn't affect the worm because the worm is blind. So thusly it does affect this guy. So 1 for the tunnel, 1 for the lighting, I'm going to say 2 for Manavral because Manavral being pulled in by the tongue was in front of him and affected, him shooting. So that's 4 situations. I'm going to give the worm another one because he knows the tunnel, knows how to protect himself, and has a shell of a head. So 5 die ranks right there. And I'm going to add that to the creature's defense. I'm going to roll it. So 5 die ranks is a D12. And, once I get to D12 as a GM, I kind of stop. That's enough. Well, if I get up to D12, that's enough. That's enough, die rank penalties. So I rolled a D12. 9. So 9 to his 14 is a 23 to hit him. So it's that hard for Hathor. Now Hathor has to shoot through past Manavral into the tunnel. The light, the spotlights coming out of their power armor is making it harder because it's not, it's harsh lighting. The tunnel is deep in there. The worm is sort of turtled in there with its tongue hanging out, pulling Manavral. All that makes it a 23 to hit him now instead of a 14. See, so that's a lot of fun to do that. It's sort of easy for a GM because I just pick out a couple of different factors. I add them up as die ranks, figure out what that is. 4 die ranks, 5 die ranks, whatever. Roll it. It could be a 1, and then they're all thrilled. Or it could be a 12, and then this is really hard. But I liked it because I didn't have to choose a number. I just chose the different factors that make sense to everyone, common sense kind of factors. Dark. Your lights are really, and I like how I describe these factors because it helps describe the scene. Tunnel, their spotlights are harsh and flashing everywhere. Mandavral's blocking your way because he's being pulled in. So I'm just adding up as I describe it. I'm adding up the different factors as die ranks, and then I just do a nice little roll in front of them. They can see what the roll is. So it's all kind of like a fair roll as far as the difficulty and the randomness of the difficulties and casting lots like we Christians do. And it was fun. And then now when you're shooting, for shooting, I have not decided yet. I probably will add this, but I haven't decided yet if shooting really high gives you a die rank result of extra damage or extra wounds. I I'm thinking I should do that. I probably will do that actually. So that's definitely a second edition because I do not have that in the first edition. So for now, don't use die rank results for shooting in the combat situations, and you just have to, because that's a damage result of the gun itself. So I don't do that just yet. That's something I gotta think about. I do like not doing it because of the tradition of, you know, hitting, getting a nat 20, and then rolling a damage roll off of just the weapon itself. So I might keep it that way because I just like that. But all these other things that are physical parameters and have a grayness to them, a degree of success and failure and damage and extra success, and getting like a, you know, if you succeed really well, getting like a comfort out of that or a nice hoopla out of that. I like that. Having a DRR, die rank result. I like having that extra success bonus or extra damage, you know, drainage failure if you roll really low from the number that you need to get to. So I'm gonna really implement that more clearly in this new edition, where I'm gonna go ahead and consolidate the game rules so that but it's tricky to consolidate the game rules because of the medieval setting, the apocalyptic setting, and the sci-fi setting all have kind of unique attributes to them. You know, as far as weapons, gear, as far as the sort of the type of character classes that kind of go into it. It's subtle changes, but but they're there. Like in the apocalypse in the Christian space, the women can do more, generally speaking, than in the Dark Ages. You know, just historically speaking, in that sense. But they can't wield a battle axe and fight and charge up like a bunch of idiot men, okay? So I'm pretty excited about this new level of, I don't know, it feels very freeing, liberating, and fun, and adds so much more charm to the dice rolls, and everyone getting to do things in an interesting way, like setting up the winch, you know, or doing the power armor to help out with turning the vehicle over again. That happens in the game, and they've done it for their other situations. I just went with what I was doing there, but they had it going through this tunnel, and now they're over here and they're dealing with some stuff. But now they're just doing like straight up combat. So let me delete these guys and get this back to normal. The extra, but man, that's definitely really cool. I really like the die rank result type of thing. Messing with that. I definitely I need to make that DRR much higher because they can get up high. Oh wait, 37 die ranks right there. Okay, increase die rank table, increase, because it could go up pretty high. Increase to 20 ranks. Okay, so that's a lot of fun. Really helps with the game. I mean, it really helps me as a GM too. It really helps simplify my decision-making process concerning the mechanics. It really does. If you, once you understand and get it down and just, this is a die rank, that factor is a die rank, that factor is a die rank. All right, let me roll it. Done. Here's your difficulty. I like that because it's very free-flowing in that you can just describe things with each die rank, you know, and it helps you. So you're doing two things at once. You're doing the mechanics and describing the scene, and it's making you describe the scene because of the factors you're adding into the die ranks. And then just rolling that is more freeing to me because I don't have to tell them a number. To me, when I tell them a difficulty number, it really feels like I'm manipulating it more that way when you say a specific number, right? When you say, it's difficulty's a 17 now. It sounds very dictatorship, you know, and I'm a 45-year veteran. I get that subtle reaction from the players whenever I pick a number, and I don't like picking numbers specifically because I experienced that with the players. Even though I'm describing in wonderfully some cool area, when I just pick a number, it feels a little arbitrarily dictatorship-y, you know. But if I say this factor, this factor, this factor, this factor, all right, let's just roll and see what you know. And you know, whatever that roll is another fun roll that adds to the difficulty. And again, I start with a 12 and go from there. But obviously for the vehicle, you start with their handling number, and that's the DR factor for the handling of that vehicle. But again, I really enjoyed doing it that way. It was a lot more fun, and and explanatory. It explains what my decision-making process, which isn't my decision-making process. It's common sense. I'm delineating common sense, observable factors in the scenario that they all can agree with. Okay. The negative ones. And then the positive ones, they all can start describing and adding to their diaring. So it really makes them inclusive in trying to figure out all the different factors to help with their rolls. And what I like too about keeping the highest when you roll is that we're not going to get too overboard, right? When you saw I did, what is that? 4 D12s and a D6, keep the highest. He still failed because he rolled a 5 on the D20. So it kept that in play, even though he had this potential to do super high. This game system using die ranks and keeping the highest keeps the potential of failure in there, because life, right? You and me in our lives have experienced, even when we are at our best, failure. And that is the humble, joyful reality that God has provided for us here in this world, that we can fail at things. And I love that, because we are not perfect. We are not God. We are not Jesus. We are not the Holy Spirit. We don't need to be. He already is. So why do we need to be? We don't need to be. And if you think you need to be, you're not a good person. Okay. And you're not God. So you're in a troubled spot, not me. I love that I'm imperfect and have failures, and there's going to be pain and suffering. And I've gone through it. I've gone through death a few times now. And I still am joyful of the Lord. I'm still very joyful of God. And I know that there's going to be, suffering coming for me and my wife and my family. And I pray for all of that, for my daughters and their lives, but we are going to go through suffering, and that's life, but we're going to go through joy too. You got to go through joy too. And play the game. You got to play the game. I know the games doesn't sound like the right word, but I'm coming at it from the role-playing game for the Lord RPG and role-playing games, point of view here. So it's a game. It's the game of life. It's an incredible game, and God has set it up, and he wants to see what kind of a character we are. And he already knows. He wants us, you and me, to see what kind of character we really are. That's the point of this game, is for you to know exactly who you are when you go before God. He already knows. Jesus already knows who you already are. It's you finding out who you really are, and me. So thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to get hard at work, getting this all consolidated into a rule set. That's my next little project here. It's sort of like me, joyfully doing this for Lord RPG. And, I don't know. I guess I got to take my time at this and do it right. Anyway, in the game of life, come on, Christian men, ye o Christian men of great faith, roll holy dice. How do we turn this off? Oh, come on. Where is my mouse? There you are.